It's something that could alter the campus for years to come, what it is and how it will affect you. Plus, the district withheld funds from English learners, who's calling it a civil rights case.
And where to park, the question hundreds of students ask themselves in the morning. All this and more on this week's TigerCast News, March 18th, 2013. Good morning, I'm Meghan Julin.
And I'm Daniel Wetter. We begin with breaking news.
I believe that the reason why we're seeing this movement is because of the unfortunate events that happened back in Connecticut, another school shooting.
The school responding to safety concerns throughout the country, a new gate could possibly be built on both ends of Campo Street. This would replace the chain barrier that is put out during the school day to prevent traffic from coming on campus. The possibility of a new gate has been discussed for many years, but now is being acted on.
But we did take a major step forward last night, and that was at the school board meeting when the school board authorized our superintendent, Mr. Minetti, to hire an architecture firm to start working on plans on what that closure of Campo Street might look like.
The Campo Street gate would not be the only addition. There are also plans for a gate in between the bus yard and the 900 buildings. We got reaction on these new security additions.
A little bit of getting used to, but it would keep the kids safer, keep them, the flow of traffic out one direction for the most part of the school day.
There are times when they take that gate down after school or on minimum days, and I have walked across that street and nearly been killed by a car because I forget the gates are down. So if the gate is up, that makes me safer, and that therefore makes everybody safer, and so I'm totally for the gate being up there.
And now we go to Meghan for the other top story of the day.
Thanks, Daniel. It's a story that's been years in the making, and it tops our TigerCast today. The Roseville Joint Union High School District is acting after withholding funds from English learners, and one teacher says it's a civil rights issue. Robbie Short has more on the story.
During the summer of 2011, an investigation by the District Board of Trustees found that the district failed to properly allocate funding to its English learner programs. According to district documents provided to Eye of the Tiger by teacher Ted Hare, the district was failing to reach the minimum threshold of 85% of the funds going to the schools, only reaching 38% in the 2010-2011 school year.
The money that I was concerned with in particular is called Economic Impact Aid. It's for English learners, that is kids who speak another language at home, whether they're immigrants or they're born here, and for students who are below grade level. And instead the district was withholding that money illegally.
After the district admitted to withholding the funds, they were forced to adopt a set of corrective actions, which included hiring a consultant who designed mock federal program monitoring.
It's a way for us to monitor, to check on how we're using the funding that we receive from the federal government, as well as the state government, in terms of supporting our English language learners, as well as students who come from socio-economically disadvantaged backgrounds.
In his complaint, Hare also alleged that the district was infringing on the civil rights of the EL students.
The money is supposed to go to English learners who are protected by the Constitution for native land. This was, I allege that this was illegal discrimination based on national origin.
The original decision by the board denied that part of Hare's claim, but his appeal is being reviewed.
That was Robbie Short reporting. Assistant Superintendent Ron Severson told the Roseville Press-Tribune that the district did intend to use the funds, but that they needed a more substantial plan. The Roseville High School counseling staff has plans to try a program called Why Try next year. This research-based curriculum group is designed to help students who are disengaged from school or unmotivated to do well. We spoke to counselor Philomena Crone about this new program.
And the curriculum is designed to help students to get re-engaged with obviously the ultimate goal of having success in school and graduating and meeting their post-high school goals.
Students will no longer have to walk to their mailbox to get their AP test scores. Instead, they'll have to click to get to their inbox to get them. The old way of mailing out AP exam scores has given way to an online distribution system. Students will receive an email from the College Board telling them that their scores are available on their College Board account. While the way students will be getting their scores will be different, they'll still be distributed around the same time as in years past, which is in July.
Parking. It's probably one of the most talked about topics here on campus, and we wanted to be a part of the solution, not the problem, so we looked at places where you can and can't park. It's a problem many students face every morning.
There's really not many options that we have here, and they're doing the best that they can. We just don't have the space available.
parking, and it's not a new problem either.
Student parking is a privilege. It's not a right. I wish that we did have more parking.
According to the District Facilities Master Plan, RHS has 333 parking spaces. Compare that to Wood Creek's 406, Oakmont's 442, and Granite Bay's 597. But unlike most Roseville schools, Roseville High School is surrounded by neighborhoods and railroads, a formula for little space for parking.
We're kind of landlocked until something major happens in which we're able to get more land to provide more parking spots. This is just the way it's going to be.
But that still doesn't answer the question of where to park. And apparently, a lot of people are parking in the wrong areas.
Parking without a permit, parking in a fire zone, and parking in a handicap zone without a placard.
Senior Alyssa Sled received a ticket for a parking violation recently, and while she accepts the ticket, she thinks there are not enough parking options for students.
I think our school's kind of at a disadvantage in the location that we're at, because it's not like we can just knock out houses and build a huge new parking lot.
One problem she pointed to, teachers parking in student-designated lots, a problem Officer Cortez agrees with students on.
It's not fair that parking enforcement is ticketing you guys as students, but then the teachers can park anywhere they want and they're taking up your spaces.
Now let's take a look at a map to see the areas students can park. The two most obvious options are the student lot near the baseball fields and the Berry Street lot. As you saw in the report, students have begun to park in a dirt lot across the street from the administration lot. Students can also park in various neighborhood areas like Woodbridge Park, but look out for permit-only zones. Officer Cortez told us homeowners have been known to call the police to ticket students parked in front of their houses. And we wanted to know what you have to say about this issue, so we asked you on our Facebook page for our Tiger Talk segment. Beth Morin says, "It's an absolute nightmare. Some teachers park in the student parking lots, which leaves us with even less spots. It feels like everywhere outside of the parking lot is parking by permit only." Clint Payne says, "Parking isn't the students' fault. Teachers should be required to park in their designated lot because that's what it's for. RHS knows of the parking problem, so why send out Roseville PD to ticket students' cars when we have no control over finding a place to park?" And Grayson Leach says, "I'm wondering if we could just open up the blacktop area by the 900 buildings and use that as parking like we do for events." And finally, we got a picture from Geronimo Fajardo. It's a picture of the Berry Street lot. Looks like quite a backup there. Thanks to all who shared their voice on this Tiger Talk. Remember, all you have to do to be on Tiger Talk is like our Facebook page at facebook.com/iTheTigerNews. In student government news, ASB and class officer elections begin today. You can vote today through Wednesday outside room 606. This is the first year that the ASB and class officer voting periods have been at the same time.
The past couple of years, we've done them separate weeks so that if a student wants to run for ASB and doesn't get elected to ASB office, they can then run for class office as well. And this year we decided not to do that because we wanted to get all the elections done before spring break, so that when we come back from spring break, we know who next year's officers are and we can already start working.
RHS will see the addition of a student government prereq for students who lack experience in the program. The class will be available next year during both the fall and spring terms. Student government teacher Lindsay Parker says the class will be required for one term and will help the students achieve the skills needed to do well in student government.
It'll be teaching the skills that students need to be successful on communication, different leadership styles, how to follow and how to lead, how to talk to different people, how to problem solve.
It's a haircut that's getting a lot of attention. Two brave sophomore girls here at Roseville took a stand against cancer and shaved off all but a mere half-inch of their hair. Lexi Vasquez and her team raised over $3,000, and Michaela Davis raised almost $1,700 for childhood cancer research. The two girls participated in the St. Baldricks event at the Galleria Mall.
My little sister had a scare with leukemia, so that kind of hit me hard. I mean, a lot of families don't get the call saying that their kid does not have cancer, so I did it for all those families.
It was really scary at first, like just walking up the stairs, my stomach hit my toes. It was so scary. And they braided my hair, and I started to panic a little bit, but it wasn't anything too bad because I knew why I was doing it.
It's not very often you get to see pies thrown at your favorite math teachers, but it happened on Campo Street last Thursday, which was March 14th. That's 314, the number for pie. So, of course, what better way to celebrate than to throw pies at the math teachers? Pies were sold for $1 each, and from the looks of it, it was quite a success. Want to be a part of the class that makes all of this happen? Take an all-new media productions class next year. Learn how to edit video, write scripts, broadcast live sports games, and work in an HD studio. All you have to do is talk to your counselor to sign up for one of the classes.
That wraps up our TigerCast today, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. And remember, you can always get the latest news and sports at eyeofthetigernews.com. And don't forget to like our Facebook page.
And we'll be back in 1 month. That's after spring break on April 15th. We'll see you then.